welcome to Geordie's Gundogs at Trails for Tails Dog Training. Okay, so in this video, hello to everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about directional work, so your left and your rights, what it's about, how we train it, and why we use it. Okay, Jimmy wanted to be in the video, obviously. Right, so okay, let's talk about directions and what are they. So when we're teaching directions, I mean directions on a retrieve, these are used for when the dog is out at a distance and needs support or help while they're out there, and we need to guide them to where we want them. Okay, so example, your dog's gone out, maybe gone into slightly the wrong area, or got a bit short, or needs a bit of help out there, or looks at you for a bit of help depending on the situation, and we need to be able to send them. They might be at the left of something, at the right of something. We need to, what we call, cast them to where we want them. So example, dog might be over here, but I need the dog to push to my left. Okay, so we need to teach them when they're out there to follow our directions. Okay, so if I'm there, bang, you go that way, or the other one, you go that way. All right, so we have to be able to help them out there. That's what they're there for. Direction training is to help the dog to go to the direction of where that dummy, that bird is, whatever's out there. Okay, now in the early stages, you'll see in this video, I'm going to just train on food bowls, and then I'll bring a couple of dummies in. But there's quite a lot of layers to directions, and a lot of people I see when they train it, they'd only train it with scene dummies. So later down the line, what you have to realise when you're handling your dog out there on a directional with directions is it's probably a blind. That's why we use directions. So it is important that you remember that in your training, because so many dogs, when they get out there, they don't even look, they know what a left and a right is. Okay, they don't know because they're so used to somebody throwing it next to them that they're right. Okay, I'm not sure quite what you mean, because this is not the picture that you've trained in, so be aware of that. But this video is just about the introduction to directions. It's about the dog learning that cue, your body language, which way you're sending them, left and right. So for me, my right is out and my left is away. Okay, some people do them the other way around, some people like left and right. It's whatever you suit. Okay, some people like to use get on. I personally use out for my right and my left away. Okay, and I also put a stop in my training before every direction. The reason being is usually we're going to be stopping them out there, and it builds value in my stop whistle as well. Okay, it's another game I can add with put the stop whistle on, because out there, unless the dog literally turns and faces me, then I wouldn't have a stop on. But majority of the time I'm going to need to probably stop the dog because they're about to overshoot it, or they're about to go in the wrong area, and I need to handle them to where I want to. Okay, so it's all about them taking that line as well, because a lot of people as well, when they're training these directionals, they push towards where the dummy is, so they might go forward, especially in the early training. You need to be really clear and at the side of you. Okay, so they learn that they turn on that line that you sent them, not gone forwards, not gone back. They're very different. Okay, and directional work will come later, even when you're doing your hunt whistle and stuff, where you need to do your hunt whistle, left, right, backs and all that. Okay, all we're doing in this video today is learning out and away. Okay, so the dog learns to follow your direction. When you're first training it, it's beneficial to have a wall behind, a hedge behind, because it keeps the dog on a straight line. Okay, but then you want to also fade that out so they don't always have that in the picture, that they need something like a barrier to take that straight line. Okay, also with directional work, you're going to start close to the dog. So I like to use the place board for this, so I can sit, stay there, take a couple of steps back, and then yes, guide them on it. But then you have to remember in your training to build distance away from the dog as well, especially the retriever lot. When they're going to be at some distance, they've got to learn to be able to take your direction from distance and learn to watch you at a distance as well. So many people keep the training short on left and rights and don't put that distance in from when they're sending them. Okay, so again, these are things that you need to think about. Obviously, when you're out there, you'll have to look at the wind and what the wind's doing to help the dog to get into the wind, but that will, that will start from the minute you've done your retrieve. So basically, this is all about your lefts and your rights, this video. And you're going to see me train it with little young Jimmy. You're going to do a bit, aren't you? He's quite ready to go. And yeah, this is an important skill, because so many dogs get out there and they can't be handled. And this is where a lot of retrieves can go wrong. And then what happens as well, the dog ends up just falling upon the retrieve, like makes a massive area. And you don't want that either. Really, technically, you want to be down the barrel. You want to have like a visual barrel. Some people like to use like literally like kitchen rolls, what they're envisioning is that line, and you don't really want them coming 5-10 yards off that line, you see. So as if they veer off it, you can stop them and get them back on the line as well. It's not even sometimes about where the dummy is, it's about, I want you to go back on that line and then maybe push them back if need be, which we'll teach separate. We teach separate for a back. So it's always important to think about your line and how far you want your dog out of it once it's got to that area, or if it's veered off the line. Okay, and this is where handling will come in as well. That's just as important, okay, for your direct, good boy, for the directional stuff. So I'm going to now demonstrate my lefts and rights, and I'll talk you through it as I'm going. So it's good for this, you'll need a place board. Ideally, if you don't have one and you've got a good sit stay, you can have the dog sat up. Because of how my field is, I won't be able to film at a wall, but you will see me have it. You'll see that I personally, while you starting this, I would use a wall behind or a fence behind. Leave that to me. Good boy's watching a birdie. Good boy. But you'll see this video anyway. You can just demonstrate this video with a wall behind you and stuff. But Jimmy has done a couple of lefts and rights, so we should be all right. So you're going to see him on the place board. I'm going to have food bowls out, and I'm going to just send him to and then slowly bring in dummies. And I'll talk through the process of it. So I'll have my place board, I'll need my whistle, and then you'll see how I move my hands. Because also you want them to go on a very clean line, so you need to be clear with them, not just throw your arm out. It wants to be a nice right, away, out. Okay, so they're following that line, learning that cue, and they've got to be able to see you as well out there. So you know, when you have your stop on, it's got to be high, and then you push them. Also, if I'm doing, so at the beginning I'm doing short ones, I might just use my arm, but if I'm doing longer ones, I'll probably extend further. Okay, but like I said, this video is literally just the introduction to direction. All right, so enjoy the clip. So I have the dog on the place board, got my food bowl, got my food, and all I'm going to do is place that directly in line with him. Okay, so you need a bit of steadiness for this. Put some food in the bowl. I take a couple of steps back. I always want the dog looking at me before I send them. Okay, now if I'm sending to my left, you want your stop whistle hand up on your left, so like this. Away, good lad. And then I meet him back on the board, so I use away for left. But you see my hand was high, because if you're going to send them left, there's no point stopping them on the right, because if they learn that, they know that they'll be going, all right, I'm going left, okay? So it's communication to that dog out there that you are going to take a left direction, okay? You're going to take a left on your side to the line, all right? And you can see at the moment, I'm only starting short. I don't need to do massive long ones here. I'm doing it short. This is just the introduction to direction. Away! Good boy! So if you want, do a bit more distance. Away! Good lad. Good boy. Hey, and even come coming back on the board. What I will do is then I can easily recall him to me if need be, if I'm bringing in the pattern, but I prefer to not dummies at the moment and just focusing on that line, okay? Right, so let's do the right. Out! Good boy. So you can see again, nice and high with the stop whistle hand. So you can see me envisioning him at a distance. Out! Really clear with my arm, taking that line, not going like that, pointing to it. I'm saying that's the line I want you to take. Out! Good boy. Good boy, mister. Good lad. Right, so this time, I'll do it with the ball. I'll do it with the dummy, but he likes balls, so I'm going to use a ball or thing. This is also piece steadiness, so this time I'm going to throw a ball out on a rope, a dummy ball. Away! Good boy, mister. Good lad. Place. I'm going to do all right. Away! Out! Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, Dewey. Good lad. Good job I've got my visual direction as well as my verbal there, Jimmy. Away! Good boy. Good lad. Place. Out! Hey, good lad. Good lad. Hold Dewey. Hold it. Go on. So the reason why, I forgot to say, the reason why I use food bowls first is if I've got a dog that's a bit funny with delivery, or a bit funny might keep or run off with a dummy, the food bowl will keep them just practicing the line so they can't go wrong over the retrieve, okay? So this is literally, just to learn that line. Learn your cue, learn your body language. That's all the introduction is, okay? Later down the line, you'll be
sending them to like the place board, maybe something's already aligned, they have to take your line, move with it, handle it, 2 out then, 3 out, whatever. But this is just, I kept it each side separate, okay? I'm not going into, right, I've got 2 out now, I've got this out. This is just the introduction. That's all I do in that session when first teaching that dog. Some dogs won't even progress on from food, okay? I just know I've got delivery, okay? So it depends where your dog's at, okay? So that is the introduction to directions.